We need to talk about an NBA team that is doing something so unprecedented that we've never seen anything like it before. And we're going to talk about the OKC Thunder. I think it's been long enough. We're going to have to do it because what we are seeing in these first 18 games is otherworldly. And it's totally different than what we saw last season. Because obviously we know last season they looked really dominant throughout the regular season. They won 68 games of basketball, got the number one seed in the Western Conference with, Chet missed several months with a hip fracture. Hartenstein missed months with a broken hand. And they didn't really look the most complete. And then obviously Jalen Williams becomes an all-star and an all-NBA, and you get to the playoffs, and you just kind of run through two series, had your struggles against Denver and Indiana, but at the end of the day, you got through it. And I know the what-ifs, like if Hallie didn't get hurt or if Gordon didn't get hurt, very viable what-ifs. But at the end of the day, you play who's in front of you, and the Thunder came out victorious. And now we get to this season. We weren't sure exactly how they were going to fare. Defending champions in recent history have not done well, none getting past the second round since the 2019 Warriors. And obviously, some people thought they were going to win 70 games. Some people thought they were going to fall off. I'm pretty sure all three of us had them finishing as the first seed in the East or in the West, but we all kind of had them winning over 60 games. I think that was a safe bet, right? This season, they have started off the season 17-1 in their first 18 games. The only NBA team to have a better start in their first 18 games was the 2016 Warriors, who went 24-0 in their first 24 games, went on to go 73-9. This season, the Thunder have a 119.6 offensive rating, which is fourth in the NBA. A 102.8 defensive rating, which is first in the league.
Wow.
That equates to a plus 16.9 net rating.
Wow.
Far and away the first in the league. Now, I remember 102.8 defensive rating. The next closest is Detroit at 110. Nuts. And net rating, they're at 16.9. The next closest is the Rockets at plus 10.4.
Wow.
Already insane stuff. Now, I also did some digging through the first 18 games of the 2016 Golden State Warriors, 73-9 team. Their offensive rating was 5 ratings worse at 114.1. Their defense was much better. They were at 98.8.
Wow. The Warriors?
Well, remember, too, shot-making offense wasn't as good 10 years ago as it is now, so it's a little bit harder to stop.
Okay.
And their net rating was lower at 15.3. And the 72-10 Bulls back in 96 had 115 offensive rating, so 4 points lower. 101.8 defensive rating, right around the same, and then a plus 13.4 net rating. So you're kind of seeing them right along the same path as those two teams.
Right.
And obviously, the main thing about OKC, which is kind of surprising me the most, is not the fact that they're winning 17 games, but it's the fact of how quickly, easily, and dominant they are winning these games. This season, through the first 18 games, their margin of victory is an average of 16.9 points per win. Which
Ridiculous.
means you're just blowing teams out left and right. And just to put that into perspective, the Warriors back in 2016, their margin of victory was 15.8, and the Bulls were only 17 or 12.5. So already they're asserting their dominance on the league. And I know they've played an easier schedule, but again, you play who's in front of you. You got to beat the teams as of what they are. And in the last 2 weeks, OKC's margin of victory is 26.6 per 100 possessions. First in the NBA. The next closest is the Raptors at 16.9. Shout out Fetty. The Raptors have been balling. So shout out them. And what's even crazier is that the margin of victory, if you look at the top two as far as this season, obviously the Thunder are first at 16.4. And the Rockets are second at 10.4. The Thunder, through the first 3 quarters of all 18 games, have a margin of victory of 15.1. So just through 3 quarters alone, they're already have the highest margin of victory we've ever seen in the NBA. It makes no sense. Still be first in the league. And it's just nuts.
All without
Jalen Williams. And what's even crazier is the next list of stats I'm about to read you, because remember that Jalen Williams is not playing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, through 18 games, has suited up in 7 fourth quarters this season.
God, dude.
He has sat out the fourth quarter in 11 games and is still averaging over 32 points per game. It's quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Thunder's defense Let's talk about the defense, man.
Gosh,
the defense
dude.
has been insane. 105.7 points allowed per game this season, first in the NBA.
Right.
38.3 points in the paint allowed this season, first in the league.
Yeah.
10.5 fast break points allowed per game, second in the league this season.
Wow.
43% they're holding teams from 2-point range, which is first in the NBA. They're holding teams to 45% from the field, first in the NBA. They're averaging 10.8 steals per game, first in the NBA. You want to know the weirdest thing? They're allowing the highest 3-point percentage in the league this year. Teams are shooting a best 39.7% when guarded by OKC
Interesting.
players,
Okay.
which is different because the Warriors had the best defensive field goal percentage from three in their 73-9 season when they were only allowing, I believe it was 17%. But again, shooting 10 years ago is nowhere near the level it's at now.
Right.
And here's a crazy stat for you.
But you said they have the worst?
Yeah, 30th in the NBA. Well, think about it. Their lineup is full of Chet and Hartenstein down low.
Yeah.
Teams are going to resort to their offense by shooting a bunch of threes and making them. That's kind of the best way to not
Okay.
lose. And here's a crazy thing. So there's a really advanced stat called estimated plus minus, which is kind of just a general idea of how valuable you are on both ends of the floor. And they have the offensive and the defensive. On the screen right now, you're going to see the top 20 players leading in defensive estimated plus minus this season. At the time of recording, today's what, November 24th? Because this episode's coming out a few days later.
Yeah.
They may or may not have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 5 players in the top 15. Caruso's first, Chet is fourth, Kason Wallace is 10th, AJ Mitchell's 12th, Isaiah Hartenstein's 15th, and then you got SGA.
AJ Mitchell, too?
AJ Mitchell. And you also got SGA and the other Jalen Williams at 17th and 18th. So 7 players in the top 20 leading in defensive estimated defensive plus minus.
Yeah.
And again, the top 5, you're looking at Caruso, Draymond, Wemby, Chet, and Rudy Gobert. Guys that are DPOY caliber defenders. And let's also not forget, Lou Dort's not on this list. He made all defensive first team last season.
Right.
And J-Dub also made all defensive as well. The Thunder have so many guys that you can even just plug and play. Kason Wallace, AJ Mitchell. There's just so many guys to name that they have. Even Isaiah Joe can guard to an extent as far as that goes. And he's like a three-point specialist.
I think SGA, can I just say one real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
SGA put it the best because someone asked him in like some interview, and they were like, "Who's the best defender on OKC?" And he was like, "Oh my God, this is an impossible question to answer,
Right.
Because literally everyone is the best on that team when it comes to defense, top to bottom, right? Because so he started naming off. He was like, Alex Caruso. He's like, if he's on the floor, he's gonna probe around. He's gonna do his thing, make call outs, create havoc. You know what I mean? And then he said, if you got Hartenstein, he's just gonna be the paint stopper, rebounder, rim protector beast that he is. If you have Kason Wallace, he said you're just going to get pickpocket steals, turn it into fast break layups. If you got Lou Dort, he's the best for like taking out one singular player from the game. So he was like naming how each defender on the team, and then he said, I can't forget J-Dub.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy that he can guard 1 through 4 or 1 through 5.
He could do 1 through 5, yeah.
So
can
like,
Caruso.
the versatility. So and Caruso too. So it was like he was naming off each strength of how everyone on the team is so good at defense, like in their own way, and it makes them such a good unit.
What I love the most about their defense is that whatever defensively one guy can't do, another guy can.
Exactly.
And when you sub out a Chet Holmgren, who's an all-NBA defender, in comes Alex Caruso. And again, like we see so many teams that when one player goes out, the team capitulates. Look at the non-Jokic minutes over his whole career. It's Garbo. But when SGA checks out, this team is still fine. This team's still really good because SGA is a ceiling raiser, not a floor raiser. The team's floor is already good enough. And I guess let's just keep talking about some players and some stats and stuff like that. So SGA, this year, he's averaging 32 points, 5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 1.5 steals on shooting splits of 50, 40, and 89.8. So he's damn well near 50, 40, 90, which is nuts. 67% true shooting for a point guard is insane. The highest true shooting percentage ever for a player averaging over 30 points per game, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren now, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, almost 2 blocks on 57, 36, 85
Wow.
Those shooting splits are nuts, and he's 7'1". I told you this dude is good enough. Remember, just hasn't been healthy his whole career. We're seeing this now. 66% true shooting. And let's talk about probably the most pleasant surprise this season, AJ Mitchell. AJ Mitchell is the youngest player to score 20 or more points on 100% from the field, and he did that last night at the time of recording. He is the first person in franchise history to do it. Sorry, the sixth player ever to do it. He's holding opponents to a league low 32% from the field when he is the primary defender.
Wow.
And if you look at the defensive field goal percentages in the league, he is one of 2 guards in the top 10. And also in the top 10 at number 6 sits Chet Holmgren. So defensively, this team is just crazy. And this year, Mitchell is averaging 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals on shooting splits of 44, 32, 92.
Where the hell did this guy come from?
He was drafted.
He was
What round?
He was the second round pick last year from the Knicks. They traded him away.
The Knicks again?
It was like a swap, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just second. I mean, it's fine.
He would have been the next Jalen Brunson because he's lefty.
It's fine.
But instead, now the Thunder found their next Harden.
Yeah.
That can defend.
Yeah.
That can defend.
I think it was
averaging 16, bro.
They just like swapped second round picks. It happens all the time.
That's actually tough.
The,
I think the Thunder's player development is just so good.
the two last things
Look
I'll
at their
say.
scouting.
Yeah.
The two last things I'll say before I hand the floor over to y'all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm yapping a lot, but I got a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
You guys have heard of cleaning the glass, where it shows the on-off statistics of players and stuff. And we talk about expected wins a lot when it comes to players. Jokic is plus 52 this year in expected wins, according to cleaning the glass, when he's on the floor. They also do it for teams. And the Golden State Warriors in 2015-16, through their first 24 games when they were 24-0, they had an expected win per 82 of 72.9 wins. They wound up winning 73. So it's pretty much of a telltale sign. This year, through the first 18 games of the season, OKC's expected wins is 74.2, a 94 win percentage.
So they
this
beat the
season.
So they beat.
They are projected.
Warriors.
They are projected to be the greatest regular season team of all time.
Yeah.
And when you win more than 72, when you win 72 or more games, one of them won the championship, one of them lost the championship. So we really don't know what'll happen.
Right.
But based on the way this looks, they've beaten everyone they've faced. Even though they lost to Portland, they just whacked them the other night. So it really doesn't matter.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I don't think they're gonna win the championship this year.
I mean, look, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But the last thing I'm going to say, and this is what kind of pisses me off about why this team's in the position that they're in, and this is all the Clippers' fault. Completely the Clippers' fault.
Yeah.
Because we all know the famous trade that sent Paul George to the Los Angeles Clippers for, obviously for SGA, Danilo Gallinari, 5 picks and everything of that nature. One of those picks wound up being Trey Mann, who they sent to the Hornets. That was just a dump for Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
One of those picks wound up being Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
One of those picks wound up going to Miami, which they took Jaime Jaquez Jr. And obviously the last pick in this trade is next season. In 2027, my OBS black screen. Hang on one sec. All right, we're back. 2026 is the last pick. And if you go to Tankathon, you can see that in certain situations, the Thunder have 3 first-round picks in the top 14.
Yeah.
Which means they can win 74 regular season games, win the championship, and get AJ DeBanza, or get Cam Boozer, or get Darren Peterson.
Well,
That's sickening.
have 3 lottery picks essentially.
Exactly.
So three decent, one like top 3 pick or top 5, 2 like other lottery guys that can be really good.
And they're all unprotected. And the worst part is, when the Clippers decided to trade for James Harden, not only did they give 3 first-round picks to Philly, they also did a swap with OKC for 2027.
Oh, God.
So now OKC's got another potential lottery pick next year.
Yeah.
And the way they're just acquiring these picks, the pick that they have for Utah next season, they got in the Derek Favors trade that took on the bad contract. And the pick they got from Philly was when they took on the overpaid Al Horford contract. All of it's coming back to bite the teams now, and OKC's just thriving off of them. So that is all I have regarding the OKC Thunder. I apologize for yapping for 15 minutes, but let's just take the next 5 or 6 minutes to kind of let you guys put your input. So we'll start with you, Antoine. Just what are you seeing from the Thunder this season in specific?
Well, I mean, nothing short of like surprising from the starting 5, minus J-Dub. Like, we knew Kason could step in and do the work. Lou Dort, same thing. SGA, Chet, Hartenstein, keeping it up from last year. Caruso, same thing. Jay Will stepping in as well. Joe and Wiggins, of course. Mitchell's the biggest surprise this year. He's come into his own now, which is like they don't need, but like of course it happens to them of all teams. So even like it's crazy because like all of their whole roster right now has played 10+ games. Like I'm looking at the bottom, like Brandon Carlson, Usman Dang, Chris Youngblood, Brooks Barnheiser.
Who the hell is these guys, bro?
Those guys were playing in the beginning of the season when they were a little more injured. Now not so much because like Joe's back, Wiggins is back, iHeart's back.
They're playing in the fourth quarter of every game.
Yeah, they're playing in the fourth. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then when J-Dub comes back, even better. And then like they lost Topic. He's supposed to be phenomenal. Thomas Sorber, their other center, they drafted in the lottery this year. He's lost, but they'll be back next year with those lottery picks that they have next year. We'll see what happens with that. But it all goes back to Sam Presti. We always say this. He's the pick Picasso,
The hoarder.
the hoarder, from the recent years trading for those first round picks, taking on the bad contracts. I mean, listen, that's how you build a team. He's the prime example of it. Utah's kind of following that same suit right now, but they're in the beginning of it. Brooklyn, same thing. Yeah. So, Presti is the founder and laid out the plan for this team. Mm-hmm. And he's hit on every player he's drafted, even the guys he's signed and brought in on vet deals like Isaiah, Wiggins, Hartenstein, all those vets. Caruso, yeah, trading. That was a trade. Yeah, trading Giddey for Caruso. Yeah. Drafting all the majority of these guys that were drafted. SGA was traded to them. And they're going to have more draft picks coming in. So, it's the team that's going to be built around homegrown talent, which, of course, I think every team wants because you don't want to, shut out so much money in free agency and, not get a good return. So, I mean, listen, Mark Dagnall as well. I mean, he's just riding the ship with these guys. May lead to another coach of the year back-to-backs. But, I have SG and AJ Mitchell on my fantasy team, so I'm chilling. I love them both. I think they're phenomenal. Of course, SJ for what he does. AJ Mitchell stepping up to be sixth man of the year probably this year. We'll see.
Potentially.
Potentially. And, it's just – it's crazy that, without J-Dub too is, when he comes back, what are we going to see, these box scores be, this score, the differentials – it's going to be probably more inflated depending on how it goes. I'm sure A.J. Mitchell will lose some minutes, though, because he's kind of been filling in for him.
I doubt it. I think he's going to keep the minutes.
I would think probably sixth-man minutes.
J-Dub's really going to limit the minutes of Kason Wallace or Lou Dort.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Because the way A.J. Mitchell's playing, he's only ascending. You can't really,
No, yeah, I wouldn't take away his minutes at all. You got to keep him in the rotation because you have him, a bench of Mitchell, Joe, Kason or Lou Dort, Caruso, Jay Will. That's, again, 5 guys off the bench that can come in and do so much more damage, too. You just got to go back to the team building, the front office.
Yeah.
That's literally all it goes back to. Finding Hartenstein last year they needed a center, picking him up from us, hurt me. And, it was the perfect find for them because, that's the prototypical center that's built for that team.
Well, the two things that
Hartenstein's built for every team, bro.
The two reasons that they lost the Dallas series was the lack of offensive rebounding and just rebounding in general and the lack of a good point of attack defender. You went out and get Caruso. You went out and got Hartenstein. Not only did them two play their roles to the absolute best they could possibly do, you also got guys like Kason Wallace that came out of virtually nowhere and gave them the kind of the oomph they needed.
Well, Kason was a lottery pick, too.
No, but, you didn't expect him to already make that kind of impact, especially on a championship team. But, Gio, obviously I know you're always one for the hot take. But, based on the way this is headed, how dominant can this OKC team be across the rest of this decade?
Ooh, the rest of the decade. I wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah.
I think that, based on how they're lined up here, so strategically well by Sam Presti, well done to him. Mm-hmm. They can be, like you said, we've been saying for a while, they can be that dynasty. They could be that next 1990s Chicago Bulls, that type. I'm talking about that level, right? Which is crazy because now SGA is already getting all these comparisons to Kobe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Kobe and SGA play. Like, you show one clip from Kobe, one clip from SGA. It's like almost identical in some plays. It's like kind of crazy. And then obviously Kobe's just like Mike, and then now you have this whole dynasty.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, like the Thunder, they can really be that team of the 2020s, you know?
Yeah.
Which is insane.
And look, we'll close with this. History tends to repeat itself.
Yeah.
And I want to just take a quick look at just this decade and last decade. 2010 and 2020, both won by the Lakers. Already repeating itself. 2011, 2021, both won by incredible European power forwards, Dirk and Giannis. 22 and 23, 2012 and 2013 were won by the Heatles. And then 2022 and 2023 were won by a very good Warriors team and a very good Nuggets team. 2024 and 2014 won by the Spurs and the Celtics, kind of that old school, really solid team. Obviously, the Spurs were a dynasty. The Celtics have been dominant for the past 6 years. And then 2025 and 2015 was the first ring the Warriors won in their dynasty. The Thunder won their first ring last year. The very next season, the Warriors went 73-9. Now the Thunder are on pace to go 74-10 or 74-8. So this could be the next dynasty we're seeing right now. And look, man, we'll have to see what happens because they look very dangerous. They're not even breaking a sweat and just 40-balling teams like it's nothing. And I'm curious to see what happens when they start playing a lot of the tougher teams. They've already beaten Houston, but let's see what happens when they go take on a Detroit or a Denver or a Cleveland or whoever stands in their way. And they're not playing the Nuggets till February, so we're going to have to wait a very long time for that.